Hello, good evening. I am Jihan Korshat. I would like to talk today about bread and how to prepare bread without gluten without having so much carbohydrate. Mostly when we go to the supermarket buying bread without gluten, mostly we have the problem that this bread is full of carbohydrate. There's so much carbohydrate inside. And the people who do diet without gluten, if it is with celiac disease or simply as diet as protection from any sensibility to gluten, they have the risk to have so much carbohydrate in the food, in the bread. So what is the solution for that? Concerning me, I try to find solution for that because I'm having diabetes and it's preferable for me to eat less as possible carbohydrate for avoiding the hyperglycemia and avoiding taking so much insulin. So I prepared bread at home. This bread, I made it at home. I show it to you, this one. So looks very, very flexible. It's real nice bread, and it's without gluten. And this bread is made from Linsen in German language. It means lentils, and it is made from rice. This rice. And the composition of that bread is so flexible and it's not dried at all as we find in supermarket. It's very flexible, very soft. So this bread is composed of 50% linsen, it means 50% lentils, and 50% rice. So when we try to know exactly the composition of carbohydrate inside, so we should look to the packaging of rice, for example, here. So it is written for 100 grams rice, it's composed of 77.7 grams carbohydrates. So I write here 100 gram rice has 77.7 gram carb, okay? And here, as I see in the packaging of the lentils, is written here. So for 100 gram, it is composed of 49 grams carbs. 49, so 100 gram lentils, so had 49 gram carbs. So is it clear? So, and this bread is composed 50% lentils and 50% rice. So how to know when I prepare the bread how much carbohydrate could I find when it is cooked? Because when you look to the carbohydrates here, it is when it is dried, when rice is dried. Also, the quantity of carbohydrates about lentils, it's when it is dried. But when it is cooked, it's completely different. So first we measure when it is dried. So it means when we mix together the lentils and the rice. So we say it's 50-50%. So we do 77.7 plus 49. So here 77 plus 49. 77.7 plus 49, so it's 126.7 grams, and this one it should be divided on 2 for knowing exactly in 100 gram as dried lentils and dried rice how much it has as carbohydrate. So divided on 2, so it becomes 63.35 grams carbs. Okay, other information you should know it during you are cooking your bread. when you cook the rice or you cook the lentils, you should know exactly how it is cooked. Concerning my bread without gluten, it is made by soaked rice and lentils, soaked in water. It means I took 50% rice, 50% lentils, soak it in water, cold water during 3 hours minimum 3 hours. After I mix it in the mixer, I clean it with the water first. I separate it from this water, I clean it. I bring it to the mixer and I add the same quantity. We say for together the lentils and rice, they are 1 cup, for example. I should add 1 cup water and I mix it in the mixer. After, I add a little bit salt and yeast, bread yeast. For 500 grams, I can add 7 grams bread yeast and 2 tablespoons olive oil, for example, or butter. So I mix it together in the mixer, and after I cook it with a pan. So I use the pan, and this pan I use each time a part of liquid of dough inside. So it's without gluten and it becomes cooked. So you should have this information when you soak the rice and the lentils. So the quantity of carbohydrate, it becomes only 36%. So minimum soaking in cold water during 3 hours. And the quantity of carbohydrate, dried rice and dried lentils, it becomes reduced to 36%. So I saw here, so when I mix 50% rice and 50% lentils, so in 100 grams dried rice and lentils, I have 63.35 gram carbs. So now I make now 36% from 63 grams carbs. So how much it could be? So I do 63.35 divided on 100, multiplication by 36. So it becomes 22.8 grams carbs per 100 gram cooked bread without gluten, made of lentils and rice. So this is the right quantity of carbs to measure, especially if you are diabetic, and you should know nearly exactly the quantity of carbohydrates when you cook something and when you measure a lot of things together and you mix a lot of things together. So it's preferable to know when you soak something as rice or lentils, so the quantity of carbohydrates, it becomes reduced 36% from the dried quantity of carbohydrates inside the original food. So as you look, the bread looks very tasteful. So it is soft. It is not dried. And after eating, normally after cooking, the other part of bread, so I prepared a big quantity. So it's a big quantity of bread, pieces of bread. So I can, for example, have pieces of bread in plastic packages, and it will be in the fridge. And when I would like to eat bread, I can warm it up in the microwave, so it becomes perfect for eating. Or simply, you can eat it directly. So normally, this bread stays soft, although when it is dried, so no problem. So thank you very much. I hope that I could help the people to resolve the problem of carbohydrates, to know exactly how much maybe could be the solution to separate what is dried food and what is cooked food, because the number of carbohydrates is completely different. Thank you very much. Jihan Koshat.